Almost 1 in 4 Americans has no emergency saving and without a cash caution. That's terrible because if something goes wrong, you will have to take unnecessary loans and pay high interest. Interests on the credit cards are insane. They could go to 20 or even 30%. You have to be a moron to pay that much interest. But even those who actually save some money reportedly said that don't have much in their saving accounts. When almost 60% of the population says that they have less than $1,000 in their saving accounts, you know that we have the problem because the $1,000 is probably not enough to cover the rent. To be honest, it is difficult to save money today because we are surrounded by so many things pushing us to spend. Even before the video starts, you probably saw an ad that called you to visit their websites and spend some cash. That's not entirely bad because spending drives the economy forward, but we have to find some balance so that we don't find ourselves paying a 30% interest. People often complain that they can't save because they need to cover their basic expenses. To these people, I wanted to say that Starbucks coffee is not a necessity. You can make the coffee at home or the fractions the price, but a $4 coffee cup is the most insane things people waste their money on. There are other things that people waste a fortune that they could have saved otherwise, and this video we are going to discover 5 of them. Hi, Wednesday Money. Today, before we move on, a few words from our sponsor, number bad habits. How is that related to the wasting or the saving money? You just have to take a look at how much people spend on alcohol, or for example, fortune. $20 here, $30 there. Don't seem like much, but if you add it up over the course of the month, it will amount of the significant number. According to the Bureau of the Labor Statistics, Americans spend about 1% of their gross annually income on alcohol. For the average household, that's 565 a year or 5,650 in the 10 years, or whooping $22,000 over the 60 years. That doesn't seem much to some of you, but don't be fooled by these numbers. It takes into account all Americans, including those who don't drink at all. Those who drink once or twice a year. So if you only take the account those who drink regularly, that numbers would be much higher. A few $100s in a month is normal for the regular drinker. The same goes for the smoking, gambling, and other habits. The average cost of the pack of cigarettes is 6.28, which means a pack a day habit sets. You 188 per month or 2,200 per year. These numbers might not frighten you, but you count the opportunity costs. You will probably get rid of these habits immediately. The opportunity cost basically means that you could have done with that money if you haven't spent on the drinking or smoking. If you threw that $2,200 every year into the index funds with the 7% return, with the power of the consumption investments, you can expect to have 400,000 in the 40 years. And next time, before you buy the pack of the cigarettes, imagine the numbers in your head. Especially today, investing is super easy. You can do it with your few clicks or your phone to avoid the commissions that investors had to pay back in the days. Investing doesn't just mean the stocks market. You can learn a few skills here on the internet and work for Tesla and make more than that. You can imagine. You thought you need a degree to work for Tesla? Well, you're wrong. At least that's what the man who runs the company said. And if you get fired, Apple will probably hire you. But wait a minute, what kind of skills do you need to get hired by such companies? Programming, coding, analysis, and understanding data. No matter what industry you are in, learning how to analyze and understand your data is critical. That's why DataCamp, the sponsor of this video, provides you with the tools to learn the data since and analytical skills you need to succeed in the real world. You want to learn programming language such as Python or SQL. You can start with absolutely basics and move up to the professional levels. You can browse by topics to find out what you want to learn. Let's try applied finance. They have courses that will teach you to different financial analysis that can help you with the investings. You can acquire new skills fast with more than 300 courses that combine short experts video with the immediate hands-on the keyboard exercise from over 250 instructors. All courses are expensive, or projects can be completed from your comfort of your browser, so you won't need to install any new software. And the best part of it is that if sign up to the data camp by the clicking the link in your descriptions, you will be able to check the first charter of any courses for free, and you will supporting us to create more videos for you. And now let's go back to video. Smoking is terrible, but you know what worse than smoking? Paying high interest rates. Credit cards are great. It's probably the best way to build your credit scores and maintain it. It is extremely important because it will help you to get loans and lower interest. But here is when things get terrible. When you use the credit card to pay for the things you cannot afford, what ends up happening is that you will not be able to cover your credit card debt at the end of the month, and the internet interest starts rolling. Have you ever taken a look at how high credit card interest rate are? They could be as high as 20 or 30%. The interest on your mortgage would seem like the penalties from in front of the credit cards. That might not seem like the big deal, but 41% of the credit cards users reported that they are failing to pay their bills on time. And that's what these banks are counting on. They want you to forget. No wonder why total credit card debts never rises to almost $1 trillion nationally. So don't ever get the credit if you can't control your spending habits, especially if you have some really bad habits. How I keep my credit card interest free is that I know how much exactly I spend. I can use the debit card to pay my bills, and I have absolutely no problem with that. But I use credit card because I would rather keep building my credit scores. And on the last day of each month, I cover all my debts, even though I might have another few weeks. If you still forget to pay your debts on the time, then whenever you pay your bills or cover your rent, make sure you include payment for your credit card simultaneously. One of the trends that have been rising for the last few decades, fast fashion. And you know what? I hate fast fashion. Don't get me wrong. They do more. They do make some good clothes, and there is nothing wrong by buying clothes. And I personally love to dress properly. I am the big fan of fashion, but there is a problem. Since the market is full with cheap clothes, we on average started buying more clothes than need. Take a look at your wardrobe. What do you really wear most of your clothes as often as you think? I'm sure that you have two or three pairs of the jeans that and a few t-shirts that would wear every day. The rest of your clothes have been lying on your wardrobe probably for the years. And like everyone else, you have clothes that you never wear, but you thought you need them. When you were the shopping, the trend has become so popular that some people stop every week. That's insane. What I hate about it the most is that just because the clothes are cheap, you end up buying more clothes that you need. The question is, why buy a lot of the low quality cheap clothes instead of having 10 or 20 pairs of the jeans? Just get yourself two high quality jeans that you will feel comfortable wearing, and you would look much better, and you will end up spending a lot of the less. That's not the worst way humanity is wasting money. No matter how many clothes you buy, they definitely won't harm yourself as the next things on your list does. Fourth, eating garbage. What? Who eats garbage? Unfortunately, most people literally eat nothing but garbage because most of that sold on the shelves of grocery stores is made out of the harmful ingredients. It's made waste. And if you consider the fact that fast food has become the new norm for the years already, you can imagine how much garbage people are eating. People spend most of their money on the food, and there is nothing wrong with that. But at least consume quality food that isn't harmful to your body. Almost all junk food that's sold are filled with different type of the sugar to boost your dopamine when you consume it and create the sense of the addictions so that you come back to it again and again, and that's done purposefully. So end up developing the habit of the always eating junk food, sneakers, bars, chips, or soft drinks. Some studies even say that a lot of the people spend almost 90% of their income on the food, which is absolutely insane. And lastly, unnecessary monthly subscriptions. Businesses realize that it's much better to sell your subscriptions that cost you a few dollars a month than the products with the few $100 price tags. First, you aren't going to hesitate that much since it's just at $10 a month, especially if you enter the credit card information now. You will get the first month for free, but later on you will completely forget about it. But the economy will keep charging you forever. There is nothing with getting subscriptions you use or need, but when you sign up for the gym, but ended up visiting the once or twice a year, I don't think you need to renew your annual memberships. 84 of the Americans were unaware of how much they spend on the subscription services. Have you realized that everything has recently turned into the subscription? Music, video, movies, apps, games, softwares. Every few months, audit your spendings to get rid of these unnecessary subscriptions because you end up paying in the fortune for something you don't even use. And that's your list of the insane ways people waste the money they worked to earn with the blood and sweat. And now it's your turn. What do you think to add to this list? How do you waste money? Let me know in the comments below. Other than that, make sure to give this video a thumbs and hit the subscribe button if you are new around here, and if you want to be notified whenever we upload, hit the bell button. Thanks for watching, and until next time.